Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Friday Charge, brought to you by Geek Studios. As always, we are your hosts, Joel and Sebastian. He is Joel, I am Sebastian. And today, March 6th, I put the wrong date on the dock, almost tripped up. Today, March 6th, 2026, we're going to talk about the Ioniq 6. We're going to talk about Cybertruck more, unfortunately. We're going to talk about Subaru. We're going to talk about vehicle to load. We've got a couple of things I'm sure we'll sprinkle in. So, without further ado, let's plug in and get started. All right, our first topic of the night is we need to all get our drinks and pour one out. My drink of choice tonight is Clear American Cherry Limeade.
Mine is
in a cup.
Mine is no ice water because I had some dental work done today and ice water hurts, so no ice water.
We're going to pour one out for the Ioniq 6. This week, Hyundai confirmed that the Ioniq 6 will not be available in the U.S. market for the 2026 model year. You will, however, be able to get the Ioniq 6N once those start coming around. This isn't a huge surprise to me. I mean, I feel like it's been on the chopping block for a little while now. The model's never sold super well, and, like we've talked about before, the Ioniq 6 is still being built in South Korea. They did not move it over to U.S. production when they did the Ioniq 5 and now the 9 as well. And so far, really, the two auto giants from Korea, so Kia, Hyundai, Kia, have only confirmed 3 electric models for the 2026 model year in the U.S. We've got the Ioniq 5, the Ioniq 9, Ioniq 5, Ioniq 9, another typo on my dock, golly, and the EV9, which, as we mentioned before, all 3 of those models are built here in the U.S. One EV you might have noticed isn't in that list is the EV6, which is also built here in the U.S. Kia has neither confirmed nor denied that the EV6 is being put out to pasture, but they have confirmed that they are indefinitely delaying the refreshed EV6 GT and the EV9 GT, both of those cars which were going to be built in South Korea still. And we talked about that when they first announced it because it was going to be a little bit weird on the EV6 because the US built cars had a NACS port on the driver's side, but the EV6 GT was still going to be CCS on the passenger side. And it was a couple other little weird quirks like that, but then they haven't shown up yet. So February was a pretty solid month for the Ioniq 5. I mean, it saw its sales increase 33% compared to February of 2025, which is not bad and kind of surprising, kind of given the current state of everything. I'm not going to say the word this week, Joel. Unfortunately for the EV6, it didn't have the same. Unfortunately, the EV6 did not suffer the same luck as the Ioniq 9. In February of 2026, Kia only moved 600 EV6s, which is 55% less than they did in February of 2025. Now, I don't know how much of that issue is because there's not a 2026 model. How many are out there on dealer lots still? I don't know. But anyway, not an awesome number. And I could understand, though, too, if they have a surplus on dealer lots, why would you bother making a new model year yet? Especially if there's not any major changes between the 2 model years. But yeah, shame about the Ioniq 6. It's one of those cars. The styling is questionable. You either love it or you don't. But it was undeniably, I mean, you could get good range. It had a good range. It was well equipped, good amenities, fast charging, yada, yada, yada. It just, honestly, I mean, 2 sedans don't do awesome in the U.S. market anymore.
They do not.
Outside of very specific niches like luxury cars, things like that, sedans just don't move. There's a reason. Well, they don't move unless you're Honda and Toyota with your Camry and Accord, or Nissan and you're selling Altimas to Enterprise. Other than that, they don't move. That's why, I mean, there is no more Ford Fusion. There's no Impala. There's no Malibu. There's none of the rest. Hi, dogs.
Yep, someone's here.
But anyway, pour one up for the Ioniq 6. I am excited to see the N when it comes because I do think the new redesign actually looks pretty sharp.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, we've talked to 2 people that in the last week that actually have had ICCU issues with their Ioniq 6s. So one was Doug on our last week's episode where we chatted with him about why he actually traded in his Ioniq 6. And it wasn't about the ICCU, so watch that episode. And also our good friend Diane, who's one of our members. She actually, I think literally the day after that episode came out, she posted that her ICCU went out in her Ioniq 6. But yeah, I mean, you've pretty much nailed it on the point. Sedans aren't very popular here in the US unless you're Honda, Toyota, and maybe the Kias with the K5s and things like that.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
K4. So yeah, I mean, because they're pretty cheap sedans. I mean, you get into those
Right.
cars in the mid to low 20s. But for everyone else, all the American manufacturers, their sedans really don't sell at all. They're all
Yeah,
SUVs
or
and
just
trucks.
they don't make them.
They don't make them. And yeah, I mean, we reviewed the Ioniq 6 and it was okay. I mean,
Yeah, I liked
it was
it. I'm
fine.
just, it was fine. I'm also maybe not that crazy about sedans.
Me neither. So
I mean,
that could probably skew my interpretation of it. But yeah, but it had stupid range. I mean, it was really the first EV that came out that got you over 350 miles of range.
That wasn't a Model S, yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't over $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. So right. Yeah, I mean, over $70,000. So yeah, I mean, we got to pour one out to it. But yeah, like you said, if it's not being made here, you're probably not going to see it. I am shocked though, and I saw rumblings about the EV6. I was doing some research for some episodes for the Daily Charge, and that popped up, and I was like, I'm gonna let this ride for a little bit before I actually say something about it. But they haven't announced anything, and I am also kind of shocked with that. I see a lot of EV6s around. I mean, I do see more Ioniq 5s, but I do see EV6s around. And I don't know what do you think? Do you think it's a styling thing? I mean, because Kia sells a lot of gas-powered vehicles.
Well,
I mean,
currently, I think the issue is because they haven't announced the 2026 model yet, in the current right now, although the Ioniq 5 has kind of always seemed to sell better than the EV6, just generally it might come down to just being more of a traditional SUV hatchback shape versus the fastback look of the EV6. But right now, the issue is Hyundai has a 2026 Ioniq 5, and they every trim level is $10,000 cheaper than a 2025 model. Kia is still soldiering on with the 2025 model and the 2025 pricing. So that, to me, would explain the discrepancy now. Now, of course, Kia is offering incentives, whatever, but so is Hyundai.
Stupid incentives right now on EV9s. 10,000 off. So, you get in the 40. You can get the one my wife leased in the 40s. EV9.
Yeah. Well, I mean, on Ioniq 5, they cut MSRP by $10,000, and I think right now they're doing lease promotions for another $10,000 off MSRP. So, they start at 35 now. That puts you at 25 for a car that is a solid car. I mean,
solid car.
But then
good
you have
range,
the EV6, but since they haven't cut pricing yet, it's still kind of up there. But even if they do a $10,000 off incentive, it's still more expensive than the Hyundai.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they're trying to work on it to get it to where they can.
I mean, really, I feel like, again, I don't have the inventory numbers, but I have a feeling there must still be quite a few 2025s in inventory. And when there aren't any major changes between 2025, 2026, it kind of probably just makes sense to pause production and wait until inventory dwindles down some and then spin up again. This is similar. We saw this weird gap for the EV9 last year that coincided with the transition over to the new Georgia plant. Was it Georgia? Kia in Georgia as well? Yes.
Yep.
With the transition to the new Georgia plant, we saw this weird pause between model years for EV9, and it was just kind of focused on, getting rid of inventory and then starting to build them again. So anyway.
And before we move on to the next story, refresh my mind because I'm old. Which of the new Kia EVs are supposed to come to America?
So allegedly we're going to get the
US.
EV4 at some point. That said, it's another one that they have just kind of delayed indefinitely until market conditions improve or whatever their argument was. We are not getting the EV5, which I still feel like is a miss because they're getting it in Canada.
Oh, Canada. I mean, I could see them bringing the EV5 and not doing the EV6. I mean, we shall see. Yep.
We shall see.
We'll see. Move on.
Anyway, so if you watched our episode last week, we talked about the new Cybertruck for quite a while. And unfortunately, that story has gotten worse and more confusing. Yay, Tesla.
What you expect.
So last week, we talked about Tesla's newest Cybertruck trim level, and unfortunately, things have gone downhill. So let's talk about price. True to their word, Tesla increased the price on March 1st by $10,000, meaning the new base Cybertruck now starts at $70,000. But unfortunately, they didn't just change the price by $10,000. They also did a bit of a bait and switch rug pull situation. So Tesla initially has been allowing FSD transfer, and this was a program they kind of started back in January, and the terms of it were you had to place your order by March 31st. With the addition of this new, cheaper Cybertruck, there were several people that are currently in Hardware 3 models, etc., that jumped on the opportunity to buy a $60,000 electric pickup because, I mean, pretty much the cheapest one that has the range and features that it has. I mean, makes sense. And that they paid full price for FSD however long ago. The idea of being able to transfer it into a car that actually supports it is appealing. And the terms were as long as you had placed the order before March 31st, you were locked in, you were good. And, we saw delivery windows slip to like 2027 on this new Cybertruck, and that was fine because you were locked into FSD. It didn't matter. But on the night of February 27th/28th, Tesla silently changed the terms of the agreement. They changed it from saying you had to order by March 31st to you had to take delivery by March 31st. Meaning everyone that bought the truck or car or whatever else from Tesla with the premise of being able to transfer FSD won't be able to do it unless the car gets delivered before that date, which we now know that none of these cheap Cybertrucks will be delivered before then. So that leaves a lot of these customers that maybe did this for this purpose in a kind of sucky situation because the best recourse they have is they can cancel the order and get their $250 order fee back. But that's it. There's no other incentive, benefit, no sorry, whatever. It's just you don't get it. Sorry. And I don't know how Tesla can do this. If you purchase something under the advertisement, the terms that you can do this, and you have evidence that that was the status of the whatever when you purchased, I don't know how you can retroactively change that.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if this is going to open it up for more lawsuits, or is there something in the order agreement that kind of puts the ball in Tesla's court? They can do whatever the heck they want. I don't know. But it definitely feels sleazy, but unfortunately kind of feels expected for the current state of Tesla.
Yep. You advertise a truck. You advertise a truck for $59,900 that you have to take delivery.
You drum up pretty solid demand for the truck by making it affordable, offering good incentives on it, such as FSD transfer, et cetera, et cetera.
These 4 or 5 day week windows are just stupid. I mean, I don't know what Tesla's thinking. They're just dumb. It's just dumb. And I can understand a 30-day promotion, from pick up a $59,000 Cybertruck from March 1st to March 31st and have free FSD transfer. Boom. Set the guidelines at the beginning so people know. Not just, hey, we're going to offer a truck for $59,900 and then 3 days later say, we're going to change the rules on you. Because, now I guarantee you no one's going to get this truck. So, or they're going to wait a year and not want it anymore. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Did they do it just to get people's $100 deposit because they need money? I don't know.
Like, did they need a short-term loan? I don't know.
Yeah,
this is definitely weird.
It's just, I don't know what they're doing anymore. They're pulling too many levers.
I know what they're doing. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. They just don't care about making and selling cars anymore.
They don't. And people will argue with us online about that.
Right now, it's paying the bills. But, their goal is to not do it anymore. And they're going to alienate their current customer base in the process because they don't care.
Yep. What they care about now is the Cybercab.
As long as somebody is still in charge of sales at Tesla because their salesperson left or whatever, this is the kind of stuff that's going to keep going on because the person making these decisions is not stable.
Yep.
I mean, usually I usually try to beat around the bush a little bit, but like at some point it's out. I mean, there's no getting around it.
Yeah. Making decisions at 2:00 in the morning. That sounds like someone else that we know in America right now. It's just bullshit. That's what I'll call it. I get my one curse word of the day, but yeah, it's dumb. All you do is just tick off people and just turn people away. I mean, usually a company has kind of like long-term forecasting. Like, here's our 12-month, 18-month plan with pricing is like we just talked Kia. Kia didn't say we're slashing $10,000. I mean, Hyundai didn't say we're slashing $10,000 off the Ioniq 5, and 3 days later say, nah, we're not doing that no more. I mean,
Right.
they stick with it for a certain amount of time and let you know when it's going to expire.
Yeah, the terms are clearly defined at the beginning and
Yes.
things like that. Yeah.
So you don't get all hyped up buying a car thinking, oh, I get an FSD transfer. Then no, you don't. So
Right.
yeah, it's dumb.
All right, moving on.
Happier notes.
Subaru's newest EVs get pricing. So Subaru has announced the pricing for its new Uncharted and Trailseeker models. The Uncharted has a starting price of $34,995, which undercuts its sibling by almost $3,000. Now, this cost difference is simply because the Uncharted base model is front-wheel drive, and the CHR is only available in all-wheel drive. But nonetheless, $34,900 doesn't seem bad. So the Trailseeker, which is the larger, higher-powered vehicle, think of it more of a electric Outback, essentially, has a starting price of $39,995, which undercuts the Toyota BZ Woodland by $5,000. And that one is a bit harder for me to figure out because they have the same powertrains and everything. Anyway, for those who need a quick refresher, the Uncharted, which is being shown on the screen currently, is roughly the same size as a Subaru Crosstrek. It features a 74 kilowatt-hour battery pack, and on the base front-wheel drive trim will deliver 308 miles of EPA range. The all-wheel drive will achieve 287 miles. The Trailseeker, like I said, is basically an electric Outback. It has juiced-up motors compared to the Solterra, but the same 74 kilowatt-hour battery pack and an estimated 280 miles of range. So can I just say, I really dig the Uncharted.
Dude, you took my word, Sebastian. I really like this. I really like this. This is
like,
your car, Sebastian. This is your car.
I know it's just a shrunk down, redesigned Solterra.
Yep.
But like, I kind of dig it.
Yep.
Now, yet to be seen how the actual EV side of it holds up. We did recently drive a 2026 RZ, and you can definitely tell Toyota has tried to make improvements to the electric powertrain and how they do EVs with the new battery pack and everything, the software. There's still a bit of question on it. For example, so I did confirm the navigation does not have built-in route planning.
Okay.
Which is weird for a 2026 EV. But, and this is true on the Lexus, I don't know if it's true on the Toyota and Solterra, you can do route planning in Apple Maps through CarPlay.
Okay. I'm sure you could do it through like Better Route Planner or things like that too, right?
No. Just
really?
Apple Maps.
Really?
Well, I mean, you can, but you'd have to use an OBD dongle. And
yeah, I gotcha. Okay, yeah.
But it will do it natively in Apple Maps with CarPlay.
Okay.
But I just feel like it's a little weird for 2026 to launch a car that doesn't just have a built-in route planner. But if you are using an OBD dongle with a better route planner, the fact that you can go in the touchscreen and manually precondition the battery is a
small
thing.
win. Yep.
It's a small win. At least you can precondition when you're not using whatever route planning is supported. But like, there's a couple things, they also don't do one pedal driving, which is one of those things. It's like, as an EV person, I want my one pedal driving. But like, I like the way this thing looks. The interior looks fine. I didn't mind the interior in the outgoing model, and it's just a kind of redesigned, updated version of what was on the outgoing Solterra. I just dig the way it looks. I think it looks good.
That's your color, Sebastian, right there. That's your color.
Honestly, I kind of dig it.
I told you, man. See, I know you too well. That's your color. That's your color.
And
you're
I'm not the
habanero orange. That's what we'll call it. So
I'm not the target market for the Trailseeker, but it seems like a pretty solid, respectable package as well.
Yeah, I'm really digging this. We were supposed to get a Solterra last week to review. We were out doing cars when we had the Lexus, but they sold it, which is a good thing.
Which is a good thing, yeah.
Yeah, we wanted to sell them, and they said they should have another one here in a few weeks. So hopefully, we'll get our hands on the Solterra because we drove the Solterra last year. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. I mean, it was for entry level EV. It was decent. I mean, yeah, charging wasn't great and things like that. But
and like I said,
were you able to confirm the three charging? Someone posted on our video. Were you able to confirm how much you can charge? Yeah.
No, I mean, even the person commenting was like, the Toyota Lexus has not been clear at all
Yep.
on what the actual limit is. So who knows? Maybe we can find one of these that we can do repeated charges on and see. We can test it ourselves maybe one day.
Yep. We'll see.
But yeah, I didn't realize the color was actually called habanero orange. I thought you were just saying that.
No, is it?
It is legitimately called habanero orange.
I just made that up because every time we see this color, we think of how we always say it's habanero orange. So
the GM color is called habanero orange.
I'm surprised no one's trademarked habanero orange yet. So
I know. I was like, because it is a different color than what GM uses. Anyway, moving on. More vehicle to load is a good thing. So we've talked about Volvo a lot recently. Volvo will be rolling out an OTA update for its EX30 hatchback that will allow it to serve as a V2L device, which means you can power various items off of its battery pack. Volvo hasn't given us any major specifics about like amperage or anything like that, but I'm assuming it's going to be done through a accessory that plugs into a charge port, considering the car doesn't have any outlets on the inside. And like I said, Volvo has not said how much you can export. That said, I mean, even if you get a single 15 amp outlet like what we have on our cars, that's still useful. You know, you can run an extension cord and power your fridge or whatever else you need to use. Or at my house, I can run an extension cord and power the blower motor on my gas furnace and then have heat in the winter if I didn't have power. Things like that.
I never thought about doing that.
Yeah, look at me.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a video on how to do that because we have a gas furnace too. So,
but really, I don't have much other note on this. Just I'm happy to see more automakers embracing vehicle to load. We've got these giant, big old batteries sitting around. It's about time we use them when they're not being driven.
Yep.
Vehicle to load, vehicle to grid, vehicle to home. Give me all the V2s. I want all of it.
V2 whatever. V2W.
Just not V2 superchargers.
It should be called V2W. Vehicle to whatever. That's what that's our
V2X. Vehicle to everything.
Yeah. Vehicle to everything. Yeah. I mean, this is good. I mean, like you said, I can't say it any better than what you did. God, I hate complimenting you. Now your head's going to get so big. If you have all that energy sitting in your car, you might as well use it for something. I mean, true. I mean, just sitting there. Mine were ready to go in case during that snowstorm we got. I was
same. And I didn't
ready
need
to
it,
go.
luckily, but same.
Both of mine were charged, ready to go. Didn't have to get out the gas generator. I was ready. Had the extension cords.
We got to get you a Powerwall, man.
Ooh, that would be nice.
Or
if someone wants to donate, if someone out there who watches us
wants to donate battery pack,
someone wants to donate a battery storage unit, I do have solar. Feel free to do it. We'll watch a video and we'll make a video on it and give you all the credit for it. So I have the garage, I have the solar. Let's roll.
Joel's ready
out there?
Like, please.
I'll do it. Yes, I will. And
what we need to do.
I'll shout your name out for a year on the podcast too. So
no, you need to let me do it jank style. We'll find a really cheap EV that we can pull the battery pack out of.
That one I showed you, that Sonata hybrid or whatever it was, that was 5,000 with 500 with no roof.
There you go. I just need the battery pack.
That's right.
All right, moving on. Lexi? No, not Lexi. It's not plural. It's just Lexus. Lexus. I hate the way that sounds. Anyway, newest EV gets pricing. So Lexus this week announced pricing for its newest battery electric vehicle, and to my surprise, it is cheaper than its ICE counterpart. But new Lexus ES in its 350e premium trim level, which is a terrible thing to call your base model. 350e premium. What? Anyway, the Lexus ES 350e premium will start at $48,795. The cheapest combustion variant, which is a hybrid, is the 350h premium. So the Lexus ES 350h premium will start at $50,995. So the EV is about what, $2,000 cheaper?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, this is just the first time in a pretty long time that I've seen a shared platform vehicle that the EV was cheaper than its non-EV counterpart. I don't know if Lexus is doing some subsidizing or cutting costs artificially or what, or if they're legitimately just able to build it cheaper. I really don't know, but hey, kudos to them. I like seeing it. The ES350e is expected to start with 307 miles of range and is assumed that this is the same powertrain battery setup found out on the BZ, Solterra, etc. The front-wheel drive models will produce 220 horsepower, and the all-wheel drive models will have 338. The vehicles will sport a native NACS port, and if it's the same powertrain as those other cars I just mentioned, I would expect the same 150 kilowatt DC fast charge peak, 10 to 80 in about 30 minutes.
28 minutes. Yep.
Just kind of the typical. So we actually saw this car at Electrify Expo in Dallas back in November. It had stickers all over it saying it was a prototype, whatever. And software was glitchy, whatever. But we sat in it. It seemed pretty nice.
Yeah. It did.
It definitely had that bit of that cockpit fighter jet feel to it.
Was this the one that had the trays in the back seat?
Yes.
That was pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
And like the little airplane, like when you're flying an airplane, a little train in front of you. That's what this had. So,
but yeah, the ES has been a staple in the Lexus lineup for a long time. I think what I was reading about it earlier said it's like since 1989, Lexus has made an ES. And that's earlier when I mentioned sedans. That's kind of why it's carved out for luxury cars, is because like the luxury brands still seem to do a pretty job selling like the ES and the S class and the E class, and BMW's got all of their sedans and things like that. It seems to just be us regular people that seem to be against sedans for some reason. Yeah. But yeah, I think this is a sharp looking EV. I mean, it definitely, at least the prototype we sat in was nice. I don't know what trim level that one was supposed to be. But based on the base model RZ, I would assume that this is also a pretty nice car.
Yeah, I remember sitting in it. It felt luxurious. I mean, I think there was a screen in the back, in the middle console too, from what I remember.
Something like that, yeah.
I don't know. I had my 12-year-old with me. He was driving me nuts. But yeah.
Hey, someone gave him a Celsius, okay?
Yeah, Sebastian gave him a Celsius.
I did not give him a Celsius. You gave him a Celsius. I told you it was a bad idea.
Well, I blamed you. So if the missus asked, I blamed you. So, but yeah, I remember it being a pretty decent car. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad the Toyota brand is now stepping up and releasing EVs as others pull back. That is weird, isn't it? We're seeing other people pull back, and now Toyota, Subaru, Lexus have decided they're going to move forward. Maybe they see a gap here that they can fill. Maybe they've gotten costs down. It's interesting, but yeah, just more EVs on the road are better, especially with gas prices going up 50 cents in the last 3 days. So,
hey,
my son was shocked about that. He's like, I only could put $20 in my car. When I filled up one time, it was $230, $229. I went back again, it was $289. It's like, sorry.
Yep. That word I'm not going to say.
Yep. Geopolitical. So yes, that's going to be the word of the day. All right, Sebastian.
So the one we sat in Dallas was the ES350e, just by the way.
Gotcha.
I went in the camera roll.
What did we do? What's going on?
So as we mentioned, Monday we released the video on the Lexus RZ. That was actually a pretty quick turnaround. We drove that Saturday, but I didn't have anything lined up. I needed to get something out, so it went out Monday. And see how we drove the RZ. You can go watch that. Both of us were fairly pleased with it. It ended up being better than I expected.
Also,
the RZ is one of those cars.
I want to give a shout out to Parker Lexus. It's always nice when you kind of go to review a car. They just say, here. And you just grab the keys
at you, and you just, yeah.
It's not like we don't know where it is, got to find it. It's got 4% charge. That's happened to us before. But yeah, they just kind of say, here you go. Have fun. See you later. Bye. Yep.
But yeah, both of us were pretty pleased with it. And I mean, again, it was 2026, so it's got the new powertrain, whatever. And the new powertrain was doing a lot of work on that. One of the big drawbacks on the outgoing model is it had super low range. And same drawbacks that we talked about on the BZ4X and the Solterra. And so by moving to this newer powertrain that seems to be more efficient and has a slightly larger battery pack, the fact that the model we drove had over 300 miles of range made it more acceptable, right?
Yep.
And pricing was not bad.
It wasn't. They had it listed, 42, 44?
So MSRP on it was like 52, 53.
Yep.
Which didn't seem too bad for a Lexus,
It's a Lexus
crossover. But Lexus also is doing incentive on it, and they had it on there listed for 42.
Yes.
Which
you get a Lexus EV for 42.
And 300 miles of range and
Yep.
all that jazz. It just seemed pretty solid pricing wise.
Yep.
So anyway, go check that out if you want to learn more about that and see kind of. But I still have some gripes with it, and we talked about that through in the video. I have some questions on Toyota's strategy and things like that. But go watch the video if you want to hear more about that.
Yep.
And then Joel, what do we do Wednesday?
Oh, Wednesday we talked to Doug about trading in his Ioniq 6. So so our buddy Doug Wright, who has also one of our members. Hey Doug, shout out. He traded it was actually his Ioniq 6 for a while. I think he gave it to his son, or son bought it off him. And his son was doing some Uber, DoorDash, things like that, and was having issues with it. We're not gonna tell you exactly what it was, but it was a major issue. It wasn't ICCU. It was a pretty major issue that if you're doing DoorDash, Uber Eats, it's an issue that
Walmart delivery, whatever.
Walmart
Yeah.
delivery, you can't have this issue happen. So go watch the video. It's a little spoiler. Go watch the video. It's not long. It's only a 20-minute long video. You can put it on while you're trying to fall asleep at night. But Doug got it. And yep, he traded it in. He did have like I said earlier, he did replace the ICCU. He had to replace the charge port on it twice. So that car gave him some fits, but he loved it. He loved how it drove. He loved, the miles he'd gone. He put stupid miles on. He had it 2 years and put 75,000 miles on it
Something
in
like
2
that.
years.
Yeah. Something like that.
But Doug has owned a lot of EVs and he'll probably own a lot more before the end of this year. So we shall see. But it was a great episode. We love having our friends and guests on to talk about their EV experience, because everyone's experience is always a little different.
Yeah. And then Friday's video is this one.
Hi. Yep.
And next week, I think Monday, I'm going to release Joel. You on Saturday, we did a small range test in your EV6 just for fun, just for giggles.
Yep.
It's the first time we've actually done one.
Our first range test. Yes.
Would like to see it become a more regular thing, but that all is dependent on car availability, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
we know we
can
do
Monday.
2 more. Or 3 more.
We've got 2 more. Yeah.
We could range test the Bolt.
If you wanted to, I mean, we could.
We could range test the Bolt. So yeah.
Anyway, so that'll come out. It's a bit unorthodox, I know, doing one on a 2022 with 60-something thousand miles on it, but I thought it would be an interesting data point anyway, because again, it's got 60. How much did it do after 4 years of use or whatever?
And
else?
we were pleasantly surprised at what we got. I'm not gonna tell you what it is,
so
but we were pleasantly surprised.
And we'll talk about it more in the video, but we kind of took the approach of, instead of doing like a out of spec style 100% till it dies on the side of the road approach, or an 80 to whatever, we kind of look at it. We wanted to do more of a kind of symbolize that first leg of your road trip. So we did 100% to 10%, and then we did 75 miles an hour, because that's kind of the speed limit around here in neighboring states. And so, yeah, we did from 100% to 10% and logged it. And then once we got to the charger, we said whatever number we were at there. But yeah, Anyway, you can check that out. And other than that, I can't remember what we're doing Wednesday next week.
But I haven't decided yet. I'll let you know.
You haven't decided? Perfect. Cool.
I haven't decided yet. So it will be some sort of newsy video. So just looking at a top story. Maybe I'll have some more information about Kia EV6 by that time, and we can shed some light on that. Who knows?
Maybe. Yeah. All right. Well, that is a wrap for today's episode. Thank you all for plugging into the Friday Charge. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to like and subscribe to us on YouTube. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your audio content, make sure you follow us, leave us a rating, like, whatever. It really does help the show grow. So long, everyone, and we will see you on the next episode of the Friday Charge.